right.
How you doing?
Thanks for coming in.
How you doing?
You know, you have an impressive resume. I like that e-portfolio you sent. How did you find out about us?
Like I said, I have a class called Seminar on Communication, and one of my assignments was to find 10 target areas that I would like to work. And during that process, I researched and I looked for communication firms that I would like to work for, and I found CBC. And like I said, I was just amazed by not only the things that you've done as far as your events, like the greenhouse and the fall house, the winter house, but I was just amazed by the companies and the clients that you have. Your clientele is just very strong. It's very, I relate to it because I use some of the items that you have, or I'm very interested in some of the items that you have because it's so well diverse.
Tell me about you.
All right. Well, I'm currently a 4-year student. I'll be here I'm currently a 5th-year student now, becoming for a management degree. I've been an RA or resident assistant rather, for the last 2 years. So I'm very big on advertising, on planning events, also social responsibility as far as how people carry themselves and how they show themselves on campus. I'm currently a part of an internship with the Sante Music Group, which is a group that actually creates CDs towards drunk driving awareness. And that's actually working out pretty good. They actually just put me on a new project called Project Lustro, which is where it's the management company that they're creating, in which we're trying to pretty much get clientele who are artists, whether they sing or they are instruments, things of that sort. And we're trying to pretty much do PR for them and try to, do the best promotion that we can for them. I have through my another class called the SPEC program. I am currently working with the Tri-Town Council, which we actually work on rebranding their idea. They're trying to create an organization or a semi-organization group towards substance abuse for teens.
So what is it? When you talked about some of the clients, and you said some of the things that appeal to you.
Yeah.
What do you think you could bring to CBC particularly?
Well, because I actually am familiar with the clientele, I'm a fan of the clientele, I can give you the point of view of someone who uses your products. Like, I'm not a person that, that's never heard of your product before, but I'll still try to pitch something to you. I'm someone who has used your product.
Because these are our clients, BMW, Adidas,
Nalgene, Hasbro.
all of that. But
yeah.
other than as a consumer, tell me about your skills. Tell me about your writing skills, your social media skills. Give me an example of successes that you've had writing, with your writing skills, with your social media skills. What have you done that's worked out well?
Well, one thing I'm very proud of, even though I'm not gonna say it's a success, it's more of a learning experience that will help me further. I was very interested in something called, I don't know if you've probably heard of it, it's called Johnny Cupcake. It's a shirt clothing line, and the owner of it is actually from Massachusetts, and he has 3 or 4 stores. And he has a segment called a lecture segment that he does for colleges. And I felt it was very interesting, and I thought it would be really good if we can get Johnny Earl, who's the owner of Johnny Cupcake, to come to school and do a lecture for us. Because he talks about communication, he talks about business management, he talks about pretty much financing. He talks about a lot of topics that actually link with our school. So I actually created a pitch letter, and I sent it to the program council. I created...
What's the program council?
The program council is a group and club amongst Salem State. They pretty much create programs for students on campus that they can be more community-like for the students.
How about your research skills? I mean, one of the things that we do, we have people who come in at entry level is do some basic research, do some clips, look at some of our opposition research. Do you know anything about opposition research and anything about collecting clips? Have you had internships?
I do have. I've had an internship.
Tell me about your internship.
Even at Asante Music Group, I actually do research because they're always looking for new clientele. So with that being said, I even go through the business to business websites. I go through whatever they're looking for. If they're saying we want to know more about anti-bullying, without right there for anti-bullying, I've actually done research. I've sat down and actually gone through, the internet, and I found either blogs, I found Tumblrs, I found actual programs.
What blogs are you reading in communications?
Well, of course, I'm reading the CVC blog, of course, because it's actually very informational, especially the 11 ways to use your wall as a advertising spot. I thought that was a very interesting one.
Good. Well, excellent. Any questions for us?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay. Well, thank you, Chris. Thank you so
Actually,
much.
no, that's a lie. I actually do have a question. What made you guys think about the greenhouse as far as, that idea? I just thought that was an amazing idea, especially for the case that to take everyone who's in the social media, area and then give them, you're kind of giving them a day off, but you're also giving them a chance to meet your clientele. And I think that was actually a very smart idea.
Let me ask you a question about that.
Okay.
What interests you in social responsibility?
Social responsibility, what interests me? Just the aspect of you never know who's watching you. I mean, and being a student and also being a part of a department of residence life, we were always taught that because you have this position, you're pretty much a fish in a fishbowl. There's always someone watching you. There's always someone, who's observing you. So you have to pretty much, carry yourself like a young lady or a gentleman. You always have to make sure that you're on point with things that you're doing because you are a role model. So I feel like already having that instilled and already knowing that, I can help others, especially our clients, with that idea.
That's great. Thank you so much. You come back.
No problem.
How did he do?